Okay, hello YouTubers, it's been a while since I've been on. It's gone all Eric Moore. No, Ronnie Corbett there. The producer. Okay, so, been a little while since I've been on. I've been up to a fair few things. I've got some figures either finished or nearing completion. I also had a bit of a result on Amazon in the last week, which very nearly didn't turn out to be a result. I ordered some figures from a company and they just were not showing up after about 15 days. They still hadn't shown up. I'd already been in touch with them a couple of times to say, where are they? And they said, oh, we definitely sent them, I packed them myself, they're on the way, don't worry, don't worry. So the other day I just sent them a chaser again saying they still haven't arrived, lads, and they said don't worry, I'll put another couple of packs in the post. So lo and behold, the very next day they arrived, which was nice because there were figures that I really want, which I shall show you just now. Don't go away. Okay, now as you all know, I'm a bit of a aficionado of Airfix figures. So as I was usually trolling through all the websites and looking at pictures of Airfix soldiers, I discovered, without looking on eBay, because I didn't have access to my online banking at the time, so I wasn't going to faff around with PayPal and all of that. So I looked on Amazon and I found some figures that I've been after for a long time that I haven't seen since 1972 probably. And this is them. Oh. So it is the actual Airfix British horse artillery set, but repackaged or rebranded or reproduced by Accurate Miniatures, who are based in the US by the looks of it. Whether they bought the moulds off Airfix or they're getting them produced in another country, I do not know. But I managed to order 2 sets, because one set you get the limber and a cannon that is being serviced by the 7 or 8 soldiers, and that seemed a bit sad to me just to get one box, so I managed to find 2. They only had about 3 in stock anyway, so I thought I'd order 2. So when they hadn't shown up, I was a bit naffed off, to say the least. So I've been really looking forward to getting these. So without further ado, I shall show you around. So on the back you have a nice bit of box art. It's not particularly brilliant, but it gives you the general idea of the colours you should be using, and of course we have our own sources to look at anyway. But it's better than what you got on the Airfix packs indeed. Anyway, what I would still of course like to get is the original Airfix packaging and the Airfix figures within it, so I shall now open them up and we'll have a look. Okay, so probably the longest base Airfix ever made for placing their figures on, because of course this is for the limber. Just get rid of that. And we have one guy with a saber. I assume he's the officer. We've got another guy who's using the bent metal pole for positioning, and we have a driver. And a really bright garish red they are. Remember when I got these the first time around, I think they were blue or probably yellow, but it was a long time ago. They definitely weren't red, that's for sure. That's fallen off, that's handy. And of course we get 3 horses here, and the guy with his sword scabbard trapped between the bucket handles there. Two nice guns, I think these are 6-pounders. And the two guys who sit on the limber with the nice little peg in there to keep them secure. Let's just take these off. And where is it? Here it is. So the... Is that flash on there? Yes, it is. Really want to see those fingers. And they slot in nicely in there. I think I might have to use a bit of milliput or filler to just hide that gap. Probably best to glue them on first as well, because it's going to look a bit naff otherwise. And you get a guy with a very long matron, a very long pole there. The guy with the telescope is a really nice figure. You can hold them with two hands. And he's probably one of the few examples in 25mm, although these aren't exactly 25mm, they're 20, 22, something like that, which is a big problem. And the guy lighting the touch hole. Which actually has, if you look at it closely, he's got the fuse wrapped around a stick, which you get other artillery guys like this, but it's not as well done as that. So fair play to Airfix. These are some of their better figures. You get a bucket and a barrel, and the guns are quite good. What else can we say? And you've got the guy positioning the wheel, which again, you don't see that very often. Another comment that has been made about these wheels is that they've got the rivets all the way around them, so I might sand those down if I'm going to get that anal about it, which I probably will. And another gun there. And then finally we have the guy with the missing end of his ramrod, which again on the Plastic Soldier review site they've said, what is the point of that? Why not just leave it on there and then you can cut it off if you like, which is a fair comment. Some little bits of flash on these. I hate it when you get these round mould things on there, because you have to really faff about to get rid of them. And finally the guy who's another rider. So all in all, these aren't a bad set. I've got them because I had them as a kid, and they sort of complement the, is it the Italeri ones I bought, the French ones. The manes on these horses as well, quite unusual for Airfix. It's almost like a proper horse even. We'll have to see if they lean to the left or the right. They've got the traces around the side here. And the legs aren't quite as spindly as their other horses, such as the Hussars and the Cuirassiers, so not a bad set I think. And I think they cost me about £5 each. So as soon as I wanted them, and they did eventually show up, I'm quite happy with those. So 2 sets of those, can't wait to be getting on with them. So now I'll take you through what else I've been doing recently. So we have the complete 28th North Gloucestershires, or is it the South Gloucestershires? It's the Gloucestershires anyway. Regiment finally finished, based, and I'm very happy with them. If I just take you across, basing of course is basing. It's not brilliant. I didn't expect it to be brilliant. I haven't got all the little tufts and things. I haven't spent a fortune on buying all the little tufts of grass, which really do justice to 28mm, not 25. So I've just gone for standard basing. Anyway, let me take you across. So I have here the light infantry section, or company rather. Then we have the command section. Is this going to zoom in a little bit more? Yes it is. Oops. It's about the light infantry. Command section, company, grenadier company, and at the back we have the 3 companies of Fusiliers. I really like these guys, this pose with them reaching for the ammunition, which is very similar to the French infantry that I'm also doing at the moment. I was going to show you in a little while because I've just started those. But anyway, let's get these shown. I'll just go across the back there. Love the wings on these guys, and yeah, they're 25mm. Not 28, so you can't do as good a job on these as you can on the 28, but I think I've done a not little bad job there. A bit of variety on the trousers, just to show the difference, make it look a bit different, the unit. So I've got a mix of brown, white, grey. So there you have it. I did these, I suppose, for the Joshua Swan group build, so I can see I've done it now. I just finished basing these this evening. I was just waiting for the flock to dry, so I've just shaken it off and they are ready to go. Okay. Command unit to do a little turntable jobby. Hand cranked turntable. These are very nice, these ones. There you go. And what's he got in his hat? It's probably just the light. Okay. So, there you go. It's all kicking off down there. Couple of grenadiers. I have to say I really enjoyed painting these. Very nice figures to paint indeed. Some fiddly bits, but as British Legion has pointed out, it's all in the extra detail that you put in that sort of brings these to life, like the sideburns I've put on there. All brings them up. Very nice. So, if you like them, give me a like please. And as always, comments always welcome. And you always do such nice ones as well. Okay, So that's that one. I also managed to finish the Casualty Horse Airfix Hussar figure for my black squadron of Hussars. Quite pleased with him. He didn't take long to paint at all. That's a bit of variety to your layout. So that's him. And I'm now doing all of the British foot artillery. So they're all in progress at the moment. Some have got a little bit further on than others, but I should be finishing those off fairly soon. So there's 8 guns to do, and then on the row below I've started on the Italeri French line infantry. So they're in various stages, as I'm trying not to waste paint, so when I run out I don't mix up another batch just to finish them off. I'll just carry on with a different colour. So I'm enjoying painting these as well. A lot easier to paint than the Esky guys were. So we shall see how we get on with those. So started assembling some of these Prince August Cuirassiers and the Prince August Lancers. So once I've got them all ready, I'm going to prime those and start painting those as well. So this is why I have plenty of rack space now, because I've got quite a lot on the go. I'll just bring one of these. The thing about these is the ridiculous difference in scale. They're meant to be 25mm, but these look more like 28 to me. They're not far off when you compare them to him, who's also a 25mm. And if we put an Airfix guy next to them, they'd be even smaller, particularly the Cuirassiers, which is a bugger, isn't it, really? So getting on with those as well, which takes me to the Dragoons, or Dragoon, so I've been dragooning as well, getting on with Napoleon. Got some completed, complete artillery guys up there as well. So, now you like this. So I've done a little bit more on Larry. So he's shaping up quite nicely. Got to do some shading and washing on his blue coat, but he's turning out very nice. And my daughter picked a figure out of my French command box the other day and said, "You've got to do this one, Dad." And I thought, alright, if you want me to do him, I'll get started on him as well. So I've started on this guy, and I think he is a very nice figure. So I've got to do the tops of the boots in red. Think of something to do with the map, which should be a nice pale parchment colour really. But he's a lovely little chap. Shaping up very nicely indeed. It's nice to sort of pull one out at random. Misses. and start whacking away at him. No pun intended, much. So yeah, just to sort of break the monotony of painting rank after rank of the same pose of French or British. Every now and then I'm going to get one of these guys out as well, when I've got some gold paint on the go, because it's a bit of a waste otherwise, because you're only doing badges and stuff on 32 figures or more. So since I've got the gold paint out, I'll get one of these guys out and use it up on the gold on these as well. So I'll be prepared to see a few more of these coming out. Okay, there you go. Very impressed with him so far. Possibly one of the best figures of the batch, I'd say. Well, certainly of the ones that I've done so far. So there's a little bit more work to do on him, but I shall be completing him fairly soon, I think. Okay, there you go. So, there you have it. So, I've been fairly busy. Haven't been spending out, well, I have had some days where I've spent hours and hours and hours on these, rather than doing 1 or 2 hours a night. But it's enough to keep me moving onwards with this, and trying not to buy too many of the figures. So there you go. Hope you had a good look at those, enjoyed looking at those, and keep on hobbying. Been very inspired by the stuff Blucher's been doing recently, as usual. Mr. Super Chippy seems to be getting well stuck in. A couple of new guys coming in as well, Craig, so see you soon. I got to show you these, didn't I? I computed the black set of hussars the other day, just before I completed the British infantry, so I'll show you these as well. Got the drummer included in here, and although it's a ridiculous figure, the drummer, I thought I'd keep him in there anyway, otherwise he'd just sit there forever on his own. So I'm very pleased with these as well. For Airfix, they're not bad at all, are they? It is possible to get a fairly decent result with 20 odd millimeter Airfix. So there you go. I'm now being summoned, so I have to go. They can't cope without me, the poor darlings. Really can't. There you go. So, lot done, and more coming.